In this video, what I'd like to do is show you how to create a Python GUI using wxPython. And this GUI will eventually be connected to an Arduino. The Arduino will send it serial data from its analog inputs, and that data will be displayed on part of this GUI. Now, this video will only focus on part of the Python GUI. I had tried to make one video detailing how to make the entire GUI, but it got too long and it was too hard to follow. So what I want to do in this video is show you how to make a frame. So this is my frame, and I want to put two panels on my frame. I'm going to have a top panel, which is going to eventually show the data from the Arduino, and I'm going to have a bottom panel, which is going to be more of a control type panel. So the first thing we're going to need to do, we're going to need to make sure our modules are installed. So I'm going to be using wxPython. So pip install wxPython. For displaying the graph, we're going to use matplotlib. So pip install matplotlib. And we're going to do pip install numpy. So to make sure my graphing's working, I'm going to graph a sine wave on it before the Arduino is sending data, and the numpy is how I'm going to generate the sine wave. So after we have our modules installed, and it might take a little bit longer because pip install might need to go through and get some dependencies for you. So it might take a little bit longer to, my requirements are already satisfied, so those are already installed on my machine, but it might take you a little bit longer to download that from pip. So after everything's downloaded, we can go to an editor and we can type import wx, import matplotlib, and import numpy as mp. And right now, I think that's all I'm going to need. So after that, I'm going to check that my name is equal to main, double underscores, of course. And if this is true, we're running Python as sort of the main script. We're going to say app is equal to wx.app. We're going to have a frame is equal to sort of a main, and it's going to be our main frame that we're going to create in just a moment. And we're going to actually show this frame so it shows up on the screen. And we're going to put our app in a main loop. So this is going to handle events, and it's going to make sure that the program doesn't just stop. So now we need to create this class of main, and main is going to be our frame. So it's going to inherit from a wx frame. So this main class right now, we're going to define the layout of what's going on over here. So we're going to have a top panel, bottom panel, and a horizontal splitter window. So it's going to need a constructor. So define doubles underscore init. And because it's inheriting from a wx frame, I'm going to need to do wx dot frame dot init. It's going to take self, and I'm going to give it needs the argument of parent, and I'm going to give it an argument of none. The frame is not going to be on another wx widget or container. So it's going to have a parent of none, and I'm going to give it a title of Arduino oscilloscope, and a size, we'll give it 300 by 300 right now. And now I need to define the splitter and the two panels. So my splitter is equal to a wx.splitter window. And my two panels, top is equal to top panel, which is going to need a splitter, and bottom is my bottom panel, which also is going to need a splitter. And now I'm going to say my splitter actually has to split horizontally, and it wants to split the top and the bottom panels. And then I want to set a minimum pane size of, let's just say 100 right now. So what this minimum pane size is saying is if I try to resize my window, I'm going to have a minimum pane of 100 pixels that I'm not going to be able to make it smaller than. So this is always going to be 100. So I set my minimum pane size, have my two panels. I need to create the two panels now. So I need a class of top panel, and this class of top panel is going to have to inherit from a wx.panel. So in its init method, so it's going to take self and it's going to take a parent, and this wx.panel._init is going to have self, and parent is equal to parent. So what I'm actually passing as the parent is I'm having this splitter window right here. I'm passing this splitter window as the parent, and I'm saying that's what I want to put these two panels on top of. So let's put another button on. So a wx button, just to show that my panels are working. So I have a button. I'm going to give it an ID of -1. That means I'm not assigning an ID. wxPython take care of assigning IDs, and I'm going to call this button1. And I'm going to take this entire class and I'm going to just copy it and rename it to bottom. And I'll call this button2. So hopefully I haven't made any mistakes. Well, I'll fix them right now if I have. So Python GUI.py, and this is my panel. So I have a button 1, a button 2. They don't do anything right now. I haven't binded them to any modules, and I want this to become bigger. So I'm going to change the size right here to 600 by 600, and let's actually give the panels, just so it's easier to see, a background color. So let's do self.set background color, and color is spelled with a U. And I'm going to give this one red, and I'm going to do the same with this one right here, and I'm going to give this one a background color of blue. You'll be able to just see the two panels a little bit easier. And if I run this, you see the red and the blue panels. So button 1, and this is my red panel, this is my blue panel. And I actually want it to look a little bit more like this. So let's set a minimum pane size, sort of trial and error. Let's try 400. Yeah, that's more what I want it to look like. I want a big graph to be right here, and then buttons for commands to be right here. So you can see it starting to come together. It's starting to look a little bit like, this is going to be my top panel for graphing, this is going to be my bottom panel for controls. So in my next video, what I'll do is I'll go over how to actually put the matplotlib figure canvas into this top panel.